Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Trump and $1 trillion in economic damage. Energy Innovation, Policy and Technology is mainly, as you might guess, an energy policy think tank. It's nonpartisan. They did some modeling and analysis of the One Big Beautiful Bill as written. It's quite the read. The short version is more than $1 trillion in economic damage to the U.S. over the window of the reconciliation package. But there's way more, so stick around. In true YouTube style, the biggest takeaway is at the end. Let's hit the big numbers and then get to the why. From 2026 to 2034, which is the window of time covered by the reconciliation package, the U.S. GDP will decrease cumulatively by $1.1 trillion. It causes the loss of 830,000 jobs by 2030. Because of the loss of new energy production, wholesale energy prices will increase by 50% by 2035. Cumulative annual consumer energy costs increase more than $16 billion in 2030 and more than $33 billion by 2035. So, those are the big takeaways. But the details are always really important. Let's start by remembering that to deal with all the increased deficit spending and additional debt they'll cause with the package, the Republicans figured revenue projections at a 3% increase in the GDP. Analysts were skeptical of that to begin with, because excluding one of Biden's years, the U.S. hasn't broken a 3% GDP increase since the Bush era. Throwing this analysis in, there's basically zero chance they'll hit that number. That's important for Republicans, because if they predict a higher GDP increase, that means tax revenue will be higher in their projections, which means all of their deficit spending will appear smaller in the projections. Another major issue is that Republicans are getting rid of the clean energy tax credits, even though it will damage the states they're supposed to represent through job losses. But beyond that, it'll reduce new energy production. Electricity demand is expected to increase almost 16% in the next 4 years alone. Less energy production coming online, more demand on the system. Laws of supply and demand come into play. You will pay more for your electricity because Republicans want to continue to use obsolete, dirty energy that costs more. But in the very short term, you'll pay more simply because there won't be enough generation to meet need. Why would a company invest more in energy production and outlay extra costs without tax incentives when they could simply allow the GOP policies to create the damage? Wait for a new administration to incentivize development, and in the meantime, charge more for what they're already producing. For people who always say to run the country like a business, they sure don't seem to understand how they run. Now, the think tank projections show clean energy capacity additions dropping by 114 gigawatts by 2030. Your prices will go up by then. You won't have to wait long. As a side note, higher energy prices will be paid by companies as well. I wonder who they'll pass those costs on to. Here's the biggest takeaway. All of this, hundreds of thousands of jobs lost, $1 trillion deleted from the GDP, all of it is only in the energy sector. As more sector think tanks talk about how it will impact them, all I can say is, hey friend, listen, I know this seems scary right now, but it's gonna get way worse. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.